loves, welcome to a new video. We are on to day 3 of the inkvent. How are we feeling so far? So for day 1 we had a blue shimmering slash sheening ink. On day 2 we had the purple with a green sheen, which was interesting. And now we're on to day 3. I wonder what is behind door number 3. What do you guys think? We are just gonna go right for it. Why not? Okay. Okay, what do you think this is, guys? Place your bets now before we expose what it is. Ready? Ready? What does that say? Pigment. It's a pigment ink? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Let's see what this looks like on paper, shall we? So obviously, right off the bat, I am excited because I love the Diamine Forever line. I really, really do. And what's interesting is that recently I have been very into Tiger Lily, which is the red color in that line. And so this one reminds me of it for sure. But I think it might be a little bit pinker. Who knows? At least from this initial swatch, it doesn't look very different from Tiger Lily, and of course I will compare it, but I am excited nonetheless. And the reason I'm using multiple dip pens is because of the line width. So the glass pen really writes like a medium to broad nib, and then the color of this is Carousel. Forgot the name for a second. Carousel. Yeah, the line width is different. So the fine obviously is a fine. Mind you, it's a pilot fine, so it's definitely thinner than perhaps a German nib. I'm intrigued by this color for sure. So yeah, the line variation is really the reason. And of course, like with any of the other ones in the Forever line, it's definitely wet, a wet writer, at least from this initial swatch. It almost feels like it has golden sheening, which is interesting. Because, I mean, it's a pigment ink, right? So I'm not expecting it to dry anything other than what it is. And of course, gotta do a little bit better cleaning with my utensils after using pigment ink because it does tend to stick a little bit more. I am also gonna try and make the swatches a little bit smaller than I have been on the onion skin paper because I want to be able to fit at least about 8 of them in here. So yeah, here's to hoping that I can accomplish that by perhaps making these a little bit smaller. Not too much smaller because I still want a good swatch, but yeah, see here you can see it be a little bit more on, I guess, like the pink side. I don't know. I'd have to do one of these big swatches for Tiger Lily to be able to really know. Me forgetting every 2 seconds how to spell carousel. Would you think that's a little smaller? Did I accomplish it? Who knows, really? It's fine. We'll do what we do. It's not like there's only 3 pages on this, right? So, okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Okay, so I have my coffee. Finally, thank goodness. The day only begins once I've had my coffee, and these are mostly dry. There's just a little bit of wetness there because of some of the water, but I really love this color. Now that it is dry, you can see here what it looks like on the Tomoe River paper, the cream paper, and then this is what it looks like on the plotter paper, which is white. And then here's where you add some color, so there's some really interesting separation, which I really, really love, especially for art purposes. So there's that. And then over here, you can see on the onion skin paper that it almost looks a little bit rosier then like there's of course it's a little bit lighter than on the Tomoe River paper. It's put on much thicker on this swatch, so that's something interesting to look at. So now let's go ahead and compare to any of the other colors. Of course, right away we're going to compare it to Tiger Lily, which you can see right there. And honestly, I think that it is very similar to Tiger Lily, as you can see. Even from this swatch, I do think that there is some I want to say it looks almost like gold sheening. I know that's not what it is, but there's this like hint of it that you get on this swatch that you don't necessarily get on this one that's been diluted with water. And of course, you don't really get any of that in the writing sample either. So there's that. But I do think that it is very similar to Tiger Lily. I think it's a little bit too similar, honestly, for an inkvent. However, I really like it. I do think that Carousel might be a little bit rosier, where Tiger Lily is a little bit more orange. But you can see it's very, very similar. I'd have to do kind of like a big swatch of Tiger Lily to make sure that it is, but very, very similar. But I do think that in writing, it does end up being a little bit rosier, and I think that's the saving grace. But if you're not looking for a pigment ink and you want to look for another color, let me know if you have anything. I don't have a whole lot of reds in my collection. Here is last year's, one of the last year's reds, and you can see that Carousel is a little bit more on the orange side, whereas this is more of a true red. And of course, this had shimmer. This is winter something. Winter days? I can't read my own handwriting. But it was day 17 last year. Let's see, nothing here. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of reds. What color do you guys have that you think kind of resembles this? See, even like J.R. Bond's Rouge Granat, that's much darker, so that's not a good kind of like a dupe there. And these are more recent reds, and all of them are kind of like on the darker side. So again, I don't really have much in the name of comparison in my lot of colors, so that's a really good thing, except for the fact that of course we got Tiger Lily over here, which is very similar. But I love Tiger Lily, and so I'm excited to kind of see how this writes in a pen. and if it's any different. So I'm excited about that. I actually really love today's color. How about you guys? Do you have any pigment inks? Do you have the Forever line? What colors do you have that might be similar to this one and that you can dupe? I would love to know. And yeah, that is day 3 of the inkvent. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm excited. I'm excited about that color quite a lot.